Okay, where was I? Let's see if this code works or not. Sorry, my internet connection got cut off. So it turns out it was my internet connection all along. Okay, let's see, iterate.asm add.heck. Hmm, 06 heck assembler. No, not this one. Nand2T. Project 6. File opened. Let's see if it gave us any output or not. If it did, then we should have it inside this directory. Yeah, we did get the output. add.asm hack. Oh wait, so see, there's a problem in your code. We need to take out this .asm extension from the file name, or maybe it was right for you. What was it before? ASM. Oh yeah, it was like that only. So you probably need to split this .asm. You can do that easily. We'll have to use os function. So file name ext os dot path dot is split text, I guess, split text file name. So this function will give us this part as the file name and .asm as the extension, but we don't need the extension in this case, so let's just assign it to underscore variable. Before that, we need this module os. So now we can use the file name like this. Let's try to run it again. Error opening the file. Oh wait, I see. Oh, right. File name 2. File Okay, this should work now. Good. So let's check the output. iterate.sm, the command. Yeah, you can use the iterate file as well, so not a big deal. You can change this add.asm with iterate.asm or whatever the command line path you have. So instead of this, you can provide this as well and it will work. But before it was incorrect for this case as well, because yeah, so for the output file name you are having iterate.asm and .hex, so you are appending both extension. Yeah, no, it's all right. I need the feedback from you anyway. So okay, let's check the output now. This is the output file. Now this is the output file. ns.hack. Right, this is what we are getting as output. The code is still incomplete, right? So for translating this at type A instruction, it is easy. You just have to provide the value directly. Okay, but for type C instruction, it is bit complicated. How to handle ANC instruction, label declaration, and how to handle. Okay, label declaration. So you already have this function pass label. Where you are passing the label statement. Code.i. Zero is at the rate, and after that you have 1 equal to I. Hey, welcome back, Chanpon. Yeah, it was my stream. My internet connection got cut off. If label not equal to well, it was because of my internet connection. Maybe it was your internet connection as well. Both of our internet connections got messed up at the same time, I think. Label not equal to okay. Okay, where was I? First pass. So during the first pass, we are just checking for the labels. If yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, you should get one as well because I had to buy it by hook or crook because I was sitting on chair for like hours and hours. My back got messed up, so I had to buy this chair. I had to go to a therapist to get my back fixed. So that's why I got this chair. Let's check this. Please station label symbol if code. If it starts with a rounded bracket, that means it's a label, right? If label. So now we are passing this code I to the pass label. What are we doing over here? If label dot statement -1 equal to this, then we return from 1 to -1. Okay, we are returning the just the name of the label and storing it inside label. If label not equal to this, then we add the symbol table label and I. But where does this I value come from? So it starts from 0 and length of code. So this lines of code is assumes that all the code is sequential properly, and we have removed the empty lines as well. And Nivedita, yeah, so do you think this is correct? Because you are not removing the empty lines, you are just replacing. So suppose if we had a comment like this, like this, say. So if we had a comment like this, what you are doing is basically just removing this part with nothing. So but still it remains as an empty line, right, inside this. Or wait, so after you call the pure code, get pure code, where is it? Okay, you are checking if it is empty or not. So if it is empty, you are not, yeah, you are getting rid of those as well. Yeah, so I think this is correct. Yeah, so the first pass is correct. But wait, if this label, suppose our code is like this, we have a code, say we have a type A instruction, then A is equal to M is equal to D is equal to A or something, and after that we have a label like this, and after that we have another type A instruction. So suppose if this starts from 0 1 and this line will be 3, right? I will be 3. So in this case you are, yeah, so if we get rid of this label, this will be 3. What we need to store inside symbol table is 0 1 and 2. 0 1 2 3. Okay, so this is good. And you are popping that line. Okay, so this logic is correct for the first pass, and after that you are incrementing. Okay, and this is for the first pass. So the first pass seems correct. We print the symbolic table. Okay. For the second pass, first you are getting n is equal to 16, I is equal to 0. Global symbol table, while I is less than length of code. Alright. Let's check if this is the ith element from the list code as a variable symbol added to the symbol. If it is in type A, you get the binary code. So this implementation is still remaining, right? Translation of A and C. No, that was perfectly logical. So yeah, it works. So you say that the implementation of type A and C instruction is remaining and incorporate some label declaration. What do you mean by incorporation of label declaration? So you have taken care of the label like symbolic table. So what do you mean by label declaration? So let me check my code. Adding, okay, all right, variable symbols. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Second pass. Whoa. Set pass. So this is what I'm doing for the variables. This is for type A, this is for type C. Symbol is equal to p dot instruction. Then I check if that symbol exists inside the symbolic table or not. If it exists, then code dot self dot sim table get value. Yeah, we need to write the value. Self dot sim tab get value of the symbol, and I pass it to the code. Code gives us the code. This will give us back the value decimal to binary. Else, if it is not inside the symbolic table, what we do first is check if it is an integer or not. So in case of this variables type A instructions, it can be either a variable. So let me show you what I'm trying to say. So when we can either have an instruction like this at 14 or at say I variable. So when is second pass adding variable symbols. So when we have this kind of type A instruction, we need to check if this value is an integer or not. So if it is an integer, then we don't need to add the variable to the symbolic table because it is this kind of type A instruction. It is not a variable, right? So that's what I'm doing over here. I'm checking if first I'm getting the symbolic value and passing it symbol and passing it to the int function, and if the value is an integer, like if it is 14, then this won't give us an error. But if the value is I, let's say, so if this was the instruction, then this would be the symbol, I would be the symbol, right? So in that case, where did it go? In that case, there will be an exception raised. So that means we know that it is a symbolic variable. So we should add that symbol, and n is this 16 value, that value to the symbolic table. And after that, we get the code and we write the code to the file and we increment the n value. So that was it for the type A. And for type C, okay, so I see you haven't implemented the code for type C. So first of all, let me try to write the code for translate A. Okay, translate A. Because I have used the classes inside my code, it will be harder to patch the code from my side. So let's see still how we can do this. Check. Here you are passing the instruction to translate A code I. Okay, so this will work. Let me copy the code up to this point and paste it over here. Symbol equal to P instruction. In this case, we can directly do instruction 1 up to the last point. So this will just give us the symbol, either the integer or. Now we need to check if the symbol exists or not. So have you written any function for that? You have the symbol table up here, right? And how are you adding the values inside the symbol table? Symbol table label is equal to. So in this case, we should use the symbol table directly. Symbol table. It's the function name. If symbol table dot get symbol equal to none, that means the symbol is not inside the symbolic table. In that case, we need to add the symbol and the value to the symbolic table. So let's see. Before that, we need to get the n variable, and it should start. Wait, did you get it over here? Oh yeah, got it over here, and is equal to 16. So you probably need to pass the n variable here as well. So in this case, first we should wait. This is if it is exist or not. False. Okay. We should check for not equal to none. So in this case, it exists. So we should just give it a code and write it. Should return that code. By the way, are you following what I'm doing? Good. So I was thinking that I should copy this class directly from my code. It will be easier then, because we need to write this functions anyway, this methods, to get the destination value and the computation part, and it will be harder to fragment it up and write it in different functions. So I think I should copy it directly from here. Okay. Then you can decide later if you want to keep it as it is or not. Should I write it? Let me copy it over here. Class code. To this class we have to provide the term. You can get the binary value, the destination, and all of the code. So yeah, you can decide later if you want to keep the code as I am editing or not. If it doesn't work for you, then you can remove it. So so if the symbol exists inside the symbolic table, we need to get the value of that symbol using symbol table, and it will be like this symbol. This will give us back the value. And it will be in integer, so we need to get the binary value. So after we initialize this class, we'll call c.value, which will give us the value, but we need to write this code. Oh yeah, in your case we don't need to write it, we can just return it. Okay, you are appending the new line character, right? So you can just pass this return c.value. Okay, this will work. Now if the symbol doesn't exist, then we need to check if it is an integer or not. If it is an integer, then we pass the value to the code, and we well, in this case as well, we'll return this. But if it is not an integer, that means it's a variable, and we need to add that variable and the number line associated with that variable, not the line, the memory address. So we'll do something like this: symbol table, this symbol equal to n. Here as well it should be this one. After that we'll pass C code equal to N. Will return C dot value. So this is the logic for type A instruction, and let's now write the logic for type C instruction. First let me check it inside here. Yeah, it's easy for type C. We just need to pass the destination, computation and jump part. Good. Code p dot destination, p dot computation, p dot jump. Okay, so in our case we don't have the parser, so what the hell. Okay, test. So in case of type C instruction, we need to pass the instruction and get this different values, destination, computation and the jump part, and it involves a lot of logic. So I think in your case, and all of this logic, my logic depends upon this part of code as well. So we can do one thing. Either I can copy the whole parser in your file, or let's see. Wait, I will be back in a minute. So you said earlier that this was assigned by your university, right? So is it like a different subject or just an assignment type thing? Nand2Tetris, yeah, but is your university teaching it as a separate subject, like just specific to Nand2Tetris, or is it a part of, like, some other subject like computer system architecture or something, or maybe compiler construction or something? Code decimal triple value destination. So what if I just copy this method destination? DC, and so what's the full form? Computer. Okay, because I saw many videos on YouTube where the students were documenting their journey, so it was pretty clear that it was assigned by the university. So I think all of the videos are from the same university. Which university is it, by the way? Self-taught computer fundamentals. Ah, okay. So this is part of the computer fundamentals course. Self-taught equal to known equal to am. Oh, all right. So no, that was definitely not from your university then, because it was from India, maybe probably from the South India. Yeah, it was not from your university. But it's good that universities are using this course, because I find it very useful. This course is like pretty spot on. Self-term code init. Let me copy the functions from my code for the type C instruction, and we'll see, figure out if we can use it like that or not. Destination, computation, and the jump part. We need these three functions. I'll probably paste it over here. IT informatics and cybersecurity. Ah, good. Oh, so you are into cybersecurity. That's nice. So after university, where would you like to work? Like, would you like to work as a programmer or as a cybersecurity consultant, like a hacker or something? And if instruction, do the translation of C as per the specifications. So we know that when we call this translate C, it is of type C only. Awesome. So before I was also yeah, only one programming course. Uh, which language? Is it Python? It must be Python. Translate C code. Translate C and code I. Okay, we have passed the instruction directly to this. So now when we are here, good. So before I also played around with bug bounty and all of those stuff. So I used to do web hacking before. Instructions. Yes, C is powerful, and in fact, when you will be getting into the binary exploitation and stuff, C will be, and very much helpful. And also, this course will be helpful as well because you are learning the machine instruction. So, for binary exploitation stuff, this is the best course, I think, because it teaches us all the nuts and bolts of the, under the hood of the computer. Instruction. Find. In this case, we don't need to check for the type because -1. Okay. Yeah. Dot type not equal to C or E in equal to. So this function will get the instruction and it will try to find this equal to sign. And if the equal to sign is not inside the instruction, that means there is no destination part. So in this case, we should probably return, let's see, we should return 0 0 0. We don't need to check for this condition. So first we'll try to find, and let's remove this as well. We'll pass the instruction. Instruction starting from 0 up to the e index dot strip. So first we find the equal to sign. If it doesn't exist, that means there is no destination inside that C type instruction. In that case, we should probably return, yeah, it was correct before. We should return null. We should return none in this case, but suppose we have the equal to sign, that means we have the destination value. In that case, we strip starting from 0 up to the e index. This will give us back the index of the equal to, and we'll strip up to that point, and we return back the self dot destination value. We should remove this self. Okay, and this will give us the destination back. After that, computation part. Here also we provide the instruction. Let me get rid of all the self. So in this case, we'll try to find, for computation part, we'll try to find if the equal to as well as the semicolon exist or not. We don't want this case. And if the equal to doesn't exist, not if the equal to exist and the semicolon exists as well, that means we have the destination part and the jump part as well, and we need to extract the computation part from the middle. So we'll extract it like this, and if so, this will work for our case, and we'll return the computation v. So that was it for computation part. Let's check this part now, jump part. So in the case of jump, we'll just check if we have a semicolon or not. And if the semicolon doesn't exist, that means we don't have jump inside the instruction. In that case, we'll just return none. But if we do have a semicolon, then the index won't be -1. Then we'll strip from that index up to the end and give back the value. So now we have these three methods which will return us destination, computation, and the jump part. Now, what we need to do is translate it back. So Okay, just need to do this part. We'll call code and p dot destination. We don't need to call p. Let's get rid of p. So we'll call the destination. This will give us back the destination value, and we'll provide it with the code, and this will give us the equivalent, the corresponding code. And now all we need to do is return this. This will give us back the translated C type instruction. So that was it for type C. Let's get rid of this. Okay, it seems we have taken care of both type A and type C, but we still need to add the other registers, right? Symbol. That's the symbolic table. Oh, in your case we don't have symbolic table. So we need to initialize this symbol table. Where should we do it? Let's do it inside the main file. Or I in range 16. Self dot symbols. Instead of self dot symbols, we should replace it with symbol table. Percentage self dot symbol, symbols with symbol table. Just Let me get rid of this initializations. Symbol table R. So this will initialize the symbol table as well. Let's check if this works or not. Oops. Instruction missing one operand. Destination. Oh yeah, we are not passing the instructions. Okay, it apparently worked. Let's check if the output is correct or not. Vim add ns. So this is the output. We need to test it inside the CPU emulator, right? I forgot. Wait, let me go back to project 6. Ah yeah, assembler. Nand2Tetris tools. We have the assembler. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to use. Six. Add. Oh wait, but the name should be add dot hack as well. So this won't work. We need to change the name as well. So we should not add this ns part. Yeah, wait. Yeah, I can load the compare file. Just load the assembly. Ah, yes. Yeah, it will work. Well, it seems our implementation is correct and working. Yeah. Okay, so the first program is working. Let's try to run second program. But first we will have to get the translated assembled code. Wait, we have to add this is the file name. Yeah, instead of add, now we need to check for so do we have to hard code the value of the file? Because well, in your case it will be easier, I guess, to use the hard coded value. Or we can use the command line argument as well, like I did. I probably have to check the file path. The second program is max. So this is the file path, max.asm. Okay, I need to copy this. Max. Okay, this is capital, right? Right. Let's check if this works or not. Mm-hmm. 6 max.asm. By the way, we have already taken care of the program which contains the symbols and without the symbols, so both of these programs should work. L and max. Let's first try the max.asm because that's what we compiled. Max ns. Fast translation. Okay, so this program is working as well. Let's try to get the symbolic version. So max yeah, this one is working as well. Which one is next? rect.asm. Okay, rect rect.asm. Okay, we have a failure at line this address. For this, so let's try to debug it. Type A instruction. We have a bug for type A instruction. So what? Oh yeah. So we are not incrementing this n variable. We are incrementing it over here. We should be incrementing it. We should be incremented. Okay, so this is incrementing the local variable, but we don't want to increment the local variable. We should increment this n variable but how do we know if we should increment it or not? Can I pass this variable as a pointer? Do you have any idea how to solve this? You got it right? Why we are getting this error? Because this n is equal to 16 variable belongs to this method, and we are passing it to this method, and we are trying to increment it inside this method, but it increments the local variable, this n. It doesn't increment this one, so we should be incrementing this one. But now the problem is we can't keep this n we can't keep this n is equal to 16 here, because then it will be lost, the state will be lost. So another thing we can do is we can keep it as a global variable. Do we have this n variable anywhere else? So yeah, let me try to keep it as, but what will happen is the code won't be that much efficient. So we should pass back something. Can I change value of a variable? Which belongs to another method, Python. Yeah, I guess you can return it like this, but you know, instead of, let's just return two values from this function. Second one will be a boolean value, so this will be false. Hey Mohammed, how are you? Mohammed Surebi. false in this case as well, but yeah, this is Python. In this case will return true. Great. So how did you find this channel? Are you also doing the Nand2Tetris course? False, false, true. So let's see. Let me call this. Well, we are trying to create an assembler which translates the assembly code into binary code. This is specific to Nand2Tetris course. Good. So my video came up as a live Python video. Good. If ink true and is equal to n plus 1. Yeah, there are not a lot of live channels on YouTube, but if you were to go on Twitch, then you would find many channels. And right now I'm also simultaneously streaming to Twitch as well as YouTube. By the way, Nivedita, are you following what I'm trying to do? This might solve our issue. Well, you can watch without an account as well on Twitch. It is just like YouTube. You don't need an account. So let's see if this new workaround works or not. Yeah, it is. You can say it's a compiler, but not exactly a compiler. It is part of a compiler. I'm trying to build an assembler which translates this type of assembly code into binary code. So this is an intermediate code, VM code. Wait, I got confused. No, this is not an intermediate VM code. This is an assembly code. So let's see if this works or not now. We need to load the new rectangle file. So you see, Nivedita, it worked. This time we solved the issue. So now it is working. Yeah, I'm simultaneously streaming on YouTube as well, on Twitch as well as YouTube. Let's check the last program, pong.asm. See if it works or not. You're welcome. Binaries bot not in Pi. What do you mean you study binaries? You mean you have a course in binary or something? This should be Pong. Let's check the last program works or not. Good. So, are you learning Python for web development, Mohammed Zurbi? Yeah, so actually this course also teaches us all the logic gates, Nand gates and all of that stuff. Just for coding, okay. Well, yeah, good. So even I don't like web development that much. That's why I'm playing around with this course, XOR and XNOR. Yeah, so in this course as well, we built this gates. Let me show you. By the way, Nivedita, our code worked. So all of the programs are running. So in this course as well, I built this, all the gates, XOR and all that from Nand gate. But I didn't actually build the hardware, but I used the simulator. Nico, are you also a Python developer? I think we forgot about the rec.l. We don't need to because it is forgot about the rec.l. Let's compile it as well. Yeah, as a simulator. Why didn't we get the output? Oh yeah, this rectal, not pong, rect. So are you a university student or are you? Yeah, sure. So Nivedita, all the programs are working perfectly fine. So what should we do now? Let's see. How do we want this code? As a GitHub repo or Let me yay, finally. So in your university, are they just teaching the part one of this course? Because there's also a part two, or is this it? Because this was the last project of the part one, right? GitHub repo. Okay. So let's see. Let me upload it inside my GitHub repo and then you can download it. Okay. CP project 6.5. Just first six. Okay. But you know what? The first six projects are nothing. The exciting part comes in the part two section, the operating system. CP projects. Yeah, sure. Now wait. Comment. What? Oh yeah. To add it first. Git push origin. Well, no, I'm not a university student. Actually, yeah, I did went to university. Like I did computer engineering, but I dropped out after 2 years only because I didn't really like the university system, and I'm more of a self-learning type of person. So I dropped out. And here you go. This is the link. You're welcome. Do you want anything else to be done? You might have also done the computer engineering course as well, right? When you were in India. Yeah, right. Oh, okay. So You are doing your bachelor's right now. Good. I thought you had already done your bachelor's and this was your master's or something. Um, Directly got into degree. Ah, all right. So instead of doing bachelor's in India, you directly went to Canada and got a bachelor's degree there, right? Ah, yeah. And you can't get into master's without a bachelor's, right? Is it like that there as well? You have to get a bachelor's degree before master's, right? In Canada as well. Or how is it? Because I have heard that, but for getting into college, you don't need high school degree or something, right? Like you don't need to go through the education system. Like I have heard, um, what are they called? Self-directed learners. So study policy. Yeah, but still, Indian policy is kind of very rigid. Like if you are in America, you can get into university without going through 1 to 10 or something. We need a good high school percentage. But you can get what is it called, GED or something directly without going through the education system. Oh, okay. Good high school percentage. But what I'm trying to find out is, do you need to go through like the 1 to high school grades? Like, do you have to study in that school? Like, can't you directly get like a certificate or something by learning on your own? City something you'll prefer to enter a university. Oh, yeah. So, can you uh, give the SATs without going through, high school and all? Oh, hey, welcome back. So, so what is your name? Is it Muhammad or Sribi? So, are you also a university student or are you trying to learn by yourself? Muhammad, okay. Right. Okay, okay. Valid for a period of 5 years. Okay. So SAT can get you into a university. Myself and a high school student. Oh, good. So most of the self-learners prefer Python as their first programming language. So good. Do they teach programming in your high school? So it is valid 5 years. So Nivedita, are you into hacking as well? Like, have you tried anything like practical hacking stuff, like web hacking or Android hacking or anything like that? Cracking and decoding. Exponential. Correct. Using nmap. Okay, so like networking and stuff, right? Cause cracking and decoding, what do you mean by cracking? Like cracking the password or cracking the... I'm doing exponents. What do you mean by exponents, Mohammed? Ah, okay, SQL injection scannings. Have you been playing city apps as well? Have you tried any city apps, Nivedita? Oh, you haven't tried any city apps, but you know about city apps, right? All right. Explanations. Because I'm asking because I heard that word for the first time. Expansions. Well, with expansions. I don't even know what that means. Isn't... Yeah, exactly. Exponential. I know about exponential, but expansions, I've heard it for the first times. Doing expansions. Okay. Exponentiation. Exponentiation. Yeah. But how does it relate to Python? Exponentiation Python. Python exponentiation tutorial. Exactly, because exponentiation, there can't be a separate folder just for exponential. This is just a single operator, like the star star. So there exceptions in file, of course. So you are right now learning the file handling and the exception error handling. Yeah, so but he said that there's a separate chapter for exponentiation. So there can't be a separate chapter just for exponentiation operator. It's just a single operator. So have you tried to build any projects? Like you just learning the syntax only, or have you tried to build any projects of some kind in Python? Well, it's not that much good, but no, I'm using Linux, so it doesn't need that much RAM, and I just installed an SSD, so that's why it can handle tabs. Plus, I'm using this Brave browser, so it eats less RAM than Chrome. Yeah, that happens. So that actually happens to everybody, and you go into this cycle of thinking what projects should I build and something to practice. So if you can't think of any project, you should try doing, this. Let me show you a cool website. What was it called? Oh, not this one. Advent of Code. So this website gives you, kind of puzzles which you should solve in any programming language of your choice. So this guys gives you. So this is better than the hacker rank puzzles because these are different, like Stack Overflow. No, not Stack Overflow. I'm talking of this website, Advent of Code. You can try to solve these puzzles in Python. They are cool, and you will learn very much. Like you will learn how to handle strings and how to handle file handling and all of that. Because there's it's one thing to just read the syntax and think that you get what syntax is, but it's a totally different thing to use that syntax inside your function. So you should try doing this puzzles. So Nivedita, what other course do you have right now in this semester? Wait, let me send you the link. Yeah, thank you. So you are still a high school student, so it's good that you are starting from at this age. You have a lot to do. You have a course regarding OS Windows, OS Unix, and introduction to security. Okay, OS Windows. OS Windows. So is it a course regarding the operating system, like how the operating system works under the hood and all of that, or what? Because if it is about Windows and Unix, then I think it is about what how it works under the hood. An introduction to security. Good. So I think for that, part 2 of Nand2Tetris course will be, very much apt, because it also teaches us how the operating system, not everything from scratch about operating system. Yeah. So it sounds cool. But we also had this course in my university course, engineering, computer engineering, but I didn't. I dropped out before we could take this course, so I didn't actually get around this operating system course. Network such as CDR, working one of the FANG companies. Ah, great. That's a good goal. Well, if you want to work in FANG companies, you should definitely do this kind of puzzles, because they ask a lot of questions which are very much related to this kind of puzzles. Good to learn about low level languages. Like, yeah, exactly. And after starting this Nand2Tetris course, I kind of like the low level languages. I'm also thinking of going back to C. Like, we had the C course in our university, but I want to revisit it again. And I want to try to build projects from pure C, like nothing else, pure C. About this, about this means this website, you mean? So the FANG interviews are mostly focused on data structure and algorithm questions. By the way, Mohammed, this kind of toy programs will be also good for your resume. Like compiler, not compiler, but just a translator. So let me show you a language. I won't say the name of this language, but you can check out this language. You can try to write a compiler for this language. It's pretty simple if you think about it, and it will look good on your resume. Yeah, exactly. And but just look at the code. This is the language. This is the program. This is the program. So name is apt. But if you think about it from the syntactical point of view, there's not much going on. Like, like there's no more characters to pass. Like this plus, then this bracket, this angle bracket, and just that dashes and dot. That's all you have to work with. Unix we configure networks such as CIDR notation. By the way, Nivedita, the CIDR net notation in all of that, doesn't it involve networking and all of that? Like, why is it part of OS class? Yeah, exactly. Just don't read it. Cisco networking. Good. So I think that networking has been my, the biggest bottleneck. Like I haven't learned the all the theory behind networking, like detailed networking, packet tracing, setting up routers and stuff. So I need to learn networking as well. So I know basic TCP and IP stuff, but it's like I try to learn it and then I forget it. Like it doesn't get into my mind really. So I need to provide some time to learn it, like to the details. TCP and IP. Yeah, so I can do basic TCP IP configuration in my on routers and stuff, but you know, do some pi problems. What kind of pi problems? That we configure machines so that they work as gateway and node. Machines as gateway and node. Internet on the node machine will only work if gateway is working. So that's what I'm saying. I've been hearing this term gateway and all that, but somehow it doesn't get into my mind. Like I need to properly learn all of this stuff because seems it is the like main part of the internet and networking. So I should learn all of this. Working as a router for the node machines. Pointer problems. Mohammed, I didn't catch what you were trying to say. Pointer problems, is that it? Nivedita, do you know any good books for networking? Like, teaches from not very academic books, like not very full of jargon and all of that, but which teaches, the basic concept, like in a very intuitive sense. Ah, okay. Python props like math. Instead of math, it's code. Ah, I get it. Python props. So this kind of puzzles are also kind of, mathematical. Yeah, sure. We'll see you then. Have a nice time, Mohammed. TCP/IP by W. Richard Stevens. Yeah, see ya. TCP/IP by Richard Stevens. Oh wait, it is a three volume set. That means it is very big. Why do you prefer this one, TCP/IP? Is it like that much good? Okay, corner is a bit dry. Excellent examples, details and drawings. Oh, so you say this is exactly what I like. Details and drawings and pictures. I like the books which, tries to explain it in a very visual sense. Books like Unix network programming. Oh, okay. I will try to check it out. Unix network programming, understanding Linux. So if you have a Unix course, that means you will be also learning bash scripting and all of that, right? I have a Unix book sitting right on my desk right now. Unix concepts and applications. Everything related to the right from zeros and ones in the packet. We'll be switching to networking on Kali and Debian only. Exactly. You should switch to Ubuntu as soon as possible because you'll be learning a lot while doing the stuff in Ubuntu. Like once I get into Ubuntu, I can't think of going back to Windows now. It's that much good, and it is not that much bloated as well. And the plethora of the applications you can find on Linux ecosystem is like unimaginable. And for hacking, Linux is much like you can do hacking from Windows, but still, even if you use Windows as your machine, as your main machine, uh, people still use Kali or any other Linux distro inside a virtual box and use it for hacking and all of that stuff. Yeah, exactly. So even though I was using Ubuntu as my main machine, I used to use Kali inside the virtual machine because I wanted to keep the hacking machine separate from my main machine. Plus, I needed many tools, so it was for ethical hacking and pen testing. Exactly. And the available tools are like very much, so you can't install, like, yeah, you can install nmap and zenmap and all these tools on Windows as well, but it will be cumbersome. So it's better to use Kali directly so that you don't have to install all of the tools by yourself. And believe me, it takes a lot of time. Like, it's installing a tools, it takes like a day or something. Like, I think that it will take a few minutes, but it ends up taking my whole day. So it's better to use the pre-installed tools from a distro. By the way, if you want to get into binary exploitation, I have found this good book, Hacking the Art of Exploitation. It's the best book for binary exploitation and step. I have read the first 2 or 3 chapters. It also goes, on the briefly on the C language. It briefly teaches the C language, and that it goes into directly into the assembly and binary hacking, Stack Overflow, and all of that stuff. So if you find binary exploitation interesting, you can read this book. It's good. By the way, how long have you been coding in Python? Did you just started? So this may good work for C++. Well, while I was in college, I used this book, but I don't think if it is a best book or not. We used this book, ANSYS. No, no, no. ANSYS. But I don't think it's the best book. It was this one, I guess, Balaguru Swami. Or was it this one? Brian Cunningham. This must be the best book because it is written by Brian Kering. I think they are the authors of C language. This guy is Brian and Dennis, maybe. But I think instead of reading a book, you should just go through a tutorial or a crash course, something from YouTube, and then try to create a program in C language. It will be easier that way. And for C++ language, I recently found this channel, uh, Code Beauty. So her tutorials are really good, and she exclusively teaches C++ language. So maybe you should check it out. By the way, you know, what I think is the best way to learn a language is to try to implement a project in that particular language. Like before you start learning any language, you should have a project in your mind, and after that you should start learning, so that you have the motivation to keep on going. For the project base, this is a nice repo for projects if you want to check it out. So anytime if you are low on project ideas, you should check out this repositories and just pick out a project from this repository. Like there are projects of all kind in all kind of languages, like C, C++. And to learn C++ and C, the best thing you can do is try to write this kind of low level software stuff like interpreter and shell and all of that. Cheap-at emulator. I'm thinking of making a cheap-at emulator as well. It sounds cool because the main power of C and C++ is in handling the low level stuff. So this is this kind of project you should be building in C++, because it doesn't make sense to build a web server in C++, because for that JavaScript and all of those languages are better. But if you want to learn C and C++, you should try to build this kind of projects like C cheap-at emulator, OS from scratch, your own interpreter and all of that. And this repository is also good, like it has projects like trying to build cell from scratch, a network stack from scratch, network stack. So these two are good repositories. Let me send you the link for the both. Anyway, Nivedita, it's time for my dinner now, so I should go. Do you have anything else to do? Like, can I help you with anything else? Yeah, you're most welcome. Actually, it was good to go back to the language anyway. I totally forgot how I had organized my file as well. Like I did it a few days earlier, few days back only, but I forgot how actually it was implemented. So it was good to go back to the project again. So anyway, we'll see you then. I will be live tomorrow. Maybe you can check it out. And if you want any help of any kind again, just hang around, hop by, and just let me know. All right. Good. All right then. We'll see you. Bye bye. Sure.